Hi guys, today we've got a few random projects that I want to get done. We're supposed to be getting into the upper 90s to almost 100 by the end of the week. Full sun, no rain in the forecast, so I kind of want to get a few things done before that heat wave kicks in, because let's face it, sometimes you just don't want to get out into your garden in 100-degree heat with humidity and do anything for that matter. So we're going to try and get as much as we can get done today so we can hopefully relax a little bit next week. Let's walk around and I'll show you what I'd like to get done today. Then we'll just kind of dive right into everything and see how much we can get done. We're at the tail end of spring, getting ready to go right into summer. You can see some of our summer perennials have already started with their first flush of blooms. The Daisy May daisies are looking spectacular. Our buddleia and our little lime hydrangea, they're setting their buds. But over here in the front, we have our early spring blooming perennials, our nepeta, our monarda, and you can see they've already done their first flush. We've got a bunch of spent dead blooms, but they're already starting to push their second flush. So we need to shear all these back over here and in the front beds. So we're going to shear those back, and then we're going to do all the ones in the front yard. We have all of these that we're going to shear back today, all the way to the end of the porch. And we're also going to come in and deadhead our nephophias. We have a bunch over here. And you can see we've got a lot of fresh blooms here, but you can also see what happens as the blooms start to age and die. They start to die off from the bottom and work their way up. They still look beautiful, but like these we need to get rid of. We don't really want the plant sending any unnecessary energy into these. Pink Profusion Salvia still has a lot of flowers on it, and the bees are still feeding off of this. So I'm going to give this another week or two, and then I'll come in and shear it off. And by that time, we should hopefully have some new flowers coming up from our nepeta. We'll do the same in this bed. We have a couple of spent bloom stalks that we need to get rid of. A lot of new blooms. These are so pretty. Pink Profusion Salvia, still looking good. Our Pugster Pinker Buddleias are in bloom, and you guys, these smell so good, especially when it gets really hot and really humid. These perfume the air, and I absolutely love it. Oh, they smell so good. The Miss Violet Buddleia in full beautiful glory. You can see a lot of these spent blooms on here. You can come in and deadhead them if you want, for aesthetic purposes only. This is a sterile variety, so it is not going to try to set seed. So you can remove these if you want, or you can just leave them as is. We may come in here and get rid of some. And in just a matter of days, the fig tree has taken off. So we're going to go through the backyard, and over here where we have our zinnias and sunflowers, I'd like to put up some of those green garden stakes and some twine, and kind of just make like a little trellis. So when the flowers bloom, they're not hanging over the side, shading the grass or getting nipped by the lawnmower. So we're going to come in here and put up a little staking system. We're going to do a little planting too. I have a couple things that I want to get in the ground. I've got a vermillionaire or a coffea that I'd like to get in the ground in the front flower bed. These are great for attracting hummingbirds. They have these long, bright orange tubular flowers, and these get 18 to 28 inches tall and only 12 inches wide, so they're not a super huge plant, but these are annual in our area. We're in zone 7A, and these are hardy in zones 8A through 10. So they're not going to come back, but I still would like to get this in the ground and just kind of let it do its thing and see if we can get some hummingbirds in here. And then we have a leftover Cat's Pajamas Nepeta, which I'm going to put in the butterfly garden and just fill up a little hole in there. But I want to start in the vegetable garden. One of the Yukon Gold plants, all the foliage has died back to the ground. So I want to remove that and dig around and see, do we have any potatoes or did it just up and die? So you can see all of the potato plants, and then we have this one random one that just completely withered down and it even broke off. So I'm gonna dig around here and see if we have anything. All right, let's get rid of our dead foliage. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh, a little potato. How cute is that? We just had rain a couple nights ago, so the dirt needs to dry on this. It's a little wet. Look at that. Ooh. Do we have any more? Do we just get one little plant? Going deep here. I don't see anything. We ended up with one little potato and one tiny little potato. Still, it's so exciting when you can just see what's actually happened underground. I know it's not much, but I still think it's exciting. So now I want to show you close up how to shear back your Nepeta after it's finished its first flush. So you can see the spent blooms over here. There are a few little flowers on here, but not a significant amount to make any difference. But if you look in the center, you can start to see new growth coming in and new blooms starting to emerge. So we want to shear all of these old spent blooms back because we don't want the plant spending unnecessary energy into trying to produce seed and keeping these stems alive. We want it to redirect all of its energy towards this new growth over here and the new blooms. That way we end up with a second flush of blooms. So to shear it back, you just need your pruners, and we're going to take it all the way down to where the new growth starts, right over here. So just you can grab it in bunches and just shear it back. Remove all of these spent blooms. And I'm just trying to keep a dome shape over here, a more rounded shape as I'm trimming. It's new. So now we've removed all of the spent blooms. We've brought the canopy of the entire plant down into a nice mounded shape, but by also removing all of this spent bloom and foliage, we expose the center of the plant to more air and light, which will in turn produce more blooms. Now let me show you how to deadhead the Monarda, and then we'll just barrel through all of them. So for the Monarda, I like to follow the spent bloom back all the way down to another set of leaves and just remove the spent bloom. These have a few flower petals left, so I'm just gonna leave the rest of them. But in the wintertime, I like to leave the spent blooms up. I think they look interesting for winter interest. Look, we've got a honeybee on the white wands Veronica. Oh, I need to see more of these. All right, guys, here we go. Okay, got them all sheared back, looking good. This is my pile of debris, and these are the plants after their haircut. They definitely look a lot greener. Let's go dump this and grab our vermillionaire because I think I found a spot for it. Okay, we've got a little empty spot right over here. That's where we're gonna put it. I think it looks perfect right there. Right in front of the green tower boxwood and right next to the Scentlandia. Now I'll show you how to deadhead and remove the bloom stalk from the Kniphofia. So you want to follow your spent bloom stalk all the way down to as close to the base as you can possibly get and just snip it off. And there you have it. And we're going to do that to all of the spent blooms. Well, now that just makes them look a lot fresher and cleaner. These are the bloom stalks that we cut off. Much better. The cat's pajamas nepeta, I'm going to tuck it right in the front of the butterfly garden, right next to the rest of them. And there it is, planted right along the rest of them. I actually did have it planted right over here, and I was like, uh-oh, that's a little too close. So I ended up bumping it over to the left about 3-4 inches. I think it looks much better. I find this is a quick and easy way to help get the mulch and soil off of your rock border. Now, because there's no rain forecast for the week, I'm going to bait using the Captain Jack's Bug and Slug Killer. It's a granular pellet. It is an iron phosphate and spinosad based bug and slug killer. So I'm going to just sprinkle it around the Nephophias and anywhere I've seen like slug trails and stuff. But if you live in like a wet climate, or if you have rain forecast in the next few days, I would probably not recommend this, just because once it gets wet, it kind of just dissolves and deteriorates. So I'm gonna do it now because we don't have any rain coming. So this is the label in case you guys want to check it out. And this is what the granules look like. And all you do is just sprinkle it around the plant. That's it. I'm just going to target the Nephophia because that's where I've seen the most slug activity. And I will be putting beer in these saucers too. So it'll be kind of like a tag team, a double whammy. We'll have the bug and slug killer and we'll have the little saucer of beer. So one way or another, we'll combat these slugs. I've got a little left, so I'm just gonna sprinkle it around some of these zinnias and stuff because something's going after them. All right guys, Mo's on his way home and he's gonna help me with the staking project for the zinnia and sunflower patch. So while we wait for him, I thought I would just take you around and show you everything else that we got accomplished today. We'll start in this front flower bed. I did not deadhead the buddleia, and I came in and cut off one dead bloom stalk from the Nephopia. In this next bed over here, we planted the vermillionaire Kaffia, and we sheared back all of the cat's pajamas Nepeta. It looks so tidy now. And we came in and deadheaded all of the spent blooms on the Nephopia in this little grouping. They look so much better. Then we came in and gave them a little dose of the bug and slug killer. I am going to come in later, rinse this out, and fill these little saucers with beer. But yeah, this bed overall is looking good. Our little dwarf baby blue spruce. Making our way back to the butterfly garden. We deadheaded the Monarda, sheared back the cat's pajamas and cat's meow Nepeta, and I did go ahead and plant the last cat's pajamas right over here. So now we have a grouping of 4, and I have one cat's meow in the back. Everything is looking really good. I love the buddleias. Pugster pinker, you guys. Get into it. They're amazing. And then we did a tiny little bit of work in the vegetable garden. We harvested one of the potato plants that had completely died back. And what a huge harvest that was, you guys. Wow. On another note though, look at our peppers. They're already starting to set fruit. I do have them behind netting though, because I think some critters like to munch on the potato vines. And over here in our zinnia and sunflower patch, I did use the last little bit of the bug and slug killer and just kind of sprinkled it all the way down. And now we're just gonna wait for Mo, and we're gonna use these green garden stakes and some twine. And we're just going to make a little staking system right along the edge between the bed and the grass. That way, as the flowers get bigger, they don't lean over and get nicked by like the edge trimmers or the lawnmower, and they'll stay upright. I also started another tray of zinnias and sunflowers. I noticed when I was baiting earlier that there's a few areas that are a little splotchy, so I figured it would be easier to start them from seed in the grow room, let them grow on, and then we can transplant them out here in the heat of the summer, and they should hopefully take off. So now we'll just go inside and take a quick little break while we wait for Mo. And the Mo has returned. Hi.
Hi.
How did your mom like the plants?
Oh, she was more than ecstatic. She loved them.
Yay! He went over to his mom, so I sent him over with a tray full of tomatoes and peppers and chamomile. Love it. All right, guys, so now that Mo's home, we're going to work on this staking project real quick. And I'm only doing this just to keep the flowers upright and prevent them from leaning over into the lawn and possibly getting damaged or broken from like the hedge trimmers or the lawnmower. So this project should only take a few minutes to do. So we have these 4-foot garden posts, and what we're going to do is we're going to put them in front of each fence post, and then we're going to take our twine and we're just going to tie it on one end and just run it through to the next post, weave it around to the next post, weave it around, and all the way until we get to the end and tie it off there. And we'll probably do 3 rows of twine, and that should be more than enough to keep the flowers right against the border and prevent them from going into the lawn. Shuey, are you being a good project manager? It's like, whatever. All right, guys, we've got our staking system all set up, and it took from start to finish about 10 minutes. We took 6 4-foot long garden stakes, pounded them into the ground about 6 inches deep. Then we came in with some twine, wrapped it around the end of the chain link fence post, tied it into a knot, and then we came around each garden stake and just did a little swoop, and then on to the next one where we did another swoop, and so on, and so on, and so on, up until we got to the end of the fence where we did another knot around the chain link fence post, and we did 2 rows instead of 3, because that's all I think we really need. If you look at it from here, this high, so we've got about 2 feet, 2.5 feet from the ground to the top of the staking post, so I think that'll be more than enough to just keep these plants from bloop, falling in. All right, guys, that's it for today's projects. I feel like we got a lot done today. I feel super good about everything. Really happy that we were able to cut back all of those perennials. Super excited to get the staking system in the ground. And all in all, just get a few more things done, especially before all of this heat comes in. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.